as I was saying, starting in our yoga alignment, ankles below the knees, shoulders above the hips. And take your shoulders, shrug your shoulders right up by your ears, roll them back, slide them down. One more time, shoulders up, scrunch them up by your ears, roll the shoulders back, and drop them down. Now pull the belly in, tuck the ribs under so that your ribs are right below your shoulders. Rest your hands on your thighs. If you've got the palms down, this is grounding. If palms are up, this is receiving. So you decide what feels better for you today, grounding or receiving. Feel the feet press down into the floor. Notice where the feet make contact. Slightly tuck the tailbone. And now pull the chin back and down to lengthen the back of the neck. And now softly close the eyes or just soften your gaze, whichever feels better. Notice your external surroundings, your external atmosphere. Notice the air against your skin. Notice where your body makes contact. Not just with the floor and the chair, but where your body contacts the space around you. And then start to take your awareness inside, starting at the crown of the head, and visually scanning your whole body. Like you were that light on a scan machine or a bone density where the light just travels across your body, but it's penetrating deep inside. Noticing where there's any holding or gripping or tension. And still with the eyes closed, let's bring our hands to heart center, setting an intention for our practice today. Perhaps you want to be more peaceful today. Perhaps you want to cultivate generosity. Whatever it is that calls to you today. And then we'll blink the eyes open. Let's gently start to move, just heel toe the feet wide. We're going to take a forward fold and open the back of the body. So we're going to grab opposite elbows and just spill forward, rounding the shoulders in the back, just taking our time to come down. And letting the head and neck relax. And here, I want you to think about the elbows yearning toward the floor, while at the same time the shoulders are moving away from the ears. So the shoulder blades are moving down the back as the elbows move toward the floor. And the crown of the head can be reaching toward the floor, chin moving toward the chest. Your belly can just be soft here. You might think about tucking the tailbone slightly toward the chair. You'll feel the low abs kick in when you do that, protecting the low back. And starting to shape the breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Deepening and lengthening. And when you're ready, release the elbows, bring your hands to your thighs. Using your hands mostly for stability, bring yourself back up by engaging your core. So pull belly towards spine, knit the low ribs in, and slowly come back up. So taking our first spinal movement, heel toe the feet back in, we're going to come into an extended version of our, I'm going to turn sideways, you can stay where you are, of our cow position. So we're going to move the spine in the opposite direction where hands are on the knees, elbows are squeezing toward the ribs. We're going to lift the tailbone, lift the chest, lift the gaze. And we're going to stay here for a few breaths. So again, think about the shoulders moving down away from the ears, shining the heart forward, and soft belly so we can breathe fully. In and out through the nose. Only bring the gaze as high as is comfortable. We haven't warmed up the neck yet, so just working on the spine here. Take a couple more breaths. You'll notice obviously this takes more effort to keep the shape as opposed to falling forward. So you might use the breath to help generate that strength, that tapas, that heat that you need. And on your next inhale, just come back to a neutral spine. Taking hands to hips, let's take a bend over to the side. So with your hands right at your hip creases, you should be able to keep pressing down so that the butt cheeks stay in the chair. You should feel your hips level and a bend, a stretch on the side of the body. Doesn't matter which side, we're going to do both. Be aware of your lower body, feet still hip width apart, knees above the ankles. On an inhale, bring yourself back up by using your core strength. And exhale, other side. Take a few breaths here. Shoulders down. Well, that crow has a lot to say this morning, doesn't he? All right, and inhale back up. Let's take the knees a little bit wider than hip width. You can keep your hands on your hips so that you can feel this. We're going to do that rolling motion where we circle the torso over the hips. So as your hands are on your hips, you should feel that rotation, keeping the hip bones forward as the torso moves around the hips. Nice and slow. Inhaling as we come forward, exhaling as we go back. And then the other direction. It's really, I find myself, my hips are popping up out of the chair. So it takes some concentration to really think about keeping the hips down. Pressing down into the feet will help. Good. And then come back to center, heel toe the feet in. Let's take a twist. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, twisting to the left. Right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh. Left arm, slide behind your low back. If that's not available to you, just drape it over the chair. If that's not available, just keep it on your hip. What's important is to keep the spine long, tailbone tucking toward the chair, chin moving toward the chest, and the back of the neck long. Lengthen to inhale, or inhale to lengthen, and exhale to twist. Let's inhale, unwind, arms reach overhead. Still pressing down into the feet, reach long, and exhale, other side, twisting right. Left hand to outside of right thigh, right arm sliding behind or at your hip or over the back of the chair. Tailbone moves toward the chair, shoulders drop down away from the ears. Twisting from the low back, the ribs, shoulders, then the head. And inhale to unwind, reach the arms overhead. Let's go right into sun salutation. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to a half lift. Slide the hands up the shins halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle the arms back around. Reaching up. Lengthen. And if palms touch, bring them together. If not, just bring them down, hands to heart center. Nice. Let's smile and do it. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Another day of life. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. And the first day of September. Inhale, circle the arms back, round, up. Reach, reach, reach. Lengthen out of the waist. And exhale to prayer. Good. One more. Inhale, sweep the arms wide. Spread the fingers, reach up, palms touch. Exhale, swan dive forward, heart leads. Chest to thighs, chin to chest, crown of the head to the floor. Inhale, slide the hands halfway up the shins, lift the gaze to the horizon, and exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms back, around, reach up, palms touch. Nice. Exhale to prayer. And bring the hands down. Sorry, I need to put my little phone in airplane mode so we don't get those interruptions. All right. Let's take the feet wide again and do our dropping opposite shoulder to opposite knee. Now, I don't want you to go to your full range just yet. We're just going to take it nice and easy, still warming up here. So when you drop your shoulder, keep the length in your back. So we're not rounding in as much as we're, again, trying to think about the sternum touching the knee. Even though the shoulder is moving in that direction, we want to keep the chest facing that side, facing this right knee on this side. Back up. And exhale, other side. Good. Inhale, back to center. One more each side. Inhale, back up. And exhale, other side. Inhale, back to center. Heel toe the feet in. And let's warm up the head and neck. So drop your chin to your chest, shoulders down and back. Just check in with your neck. So just gently roll the head side to side, bringing your right ear over your right shoulder, dropping the chin back down, rolling to the other side, and then back down. And the next time your right ear comes over your right shoulder, just stay there. So you can drop your chin forward or move it back. See where your best stretch is this morning. Now I want you to just drop your left hand down by your side and just notice how that feels. And then maybe lift the arm to 15 degrees. So does that feel better? Or did it feel better to have it down? For me, it felt better to have it down today. And maybe take some wrist circles on the left side, whichever arm is extended down. Wrist circles, maybe open and close the fingers. Shake it out. And take your right hand to your right cheek and use it to bring your head back up to center. Notice the difference between left and right. Drop the chin back to the chest as you exhale. Gently roll the head side to side again, a couple times. See if that right side of the neck feels a little more open now. And the next time your left ear is over your left shoulder, we'll hang out here for a bit. Again, finding your sweet spot by moving the head forward and back. And then once you find that yummy spot, you can bring your right arm down. See if that feels good. If it felt better not to have any extension, just keep your hand on your thigh. Otherwise, drop your arm down and then maybe check out this side. Does it feel better to have it up? Not so much for me today, so I'm keeping it down, and then I'll do my wrist circles down here. One direction and then the other. Open and close the fingers, make a fist, spread them wide. And left hand to left cheek. Gently bring the head back up. Take a big breath in. Exhale it out the mouth. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Feel that energy we've created. All right, I'm going to take a sip of water. Maybe 2. Okay, let's do a little more work on the hands, wrists, arms. By opening So I'm going to the class today to have this. It doesn't hurt, it's just annoying that occasionally the stays stuck. So really good. Shaking it out. Bring the palms like you're saying stop. Feel that stretch in the forearm. Really pull the fingers back towards you. And now drop the fingers toward the floor. Getting a stretch in the opposite direction, right down the front of the hand to the tips of the fingers. Back up, inhale. Back down, exhale. One more, inhale. Really reach the fingers back. Exhale, drop them down. And now come level. And we're going to move the wrists in and out. In and out. In and out. Oh, my wrists are snapping. In and out. A little bit of crinkling going on there. All right. Good. One more. Let's take the right hand in stop position. The left hand's going to pull the right fingers back towards you. So we're getting an even deeper stretch. Breathing into it. Try not to lock out the elbow on the right arm. Just keep a little bend there. And then we'll flip the palm so that the palm is facing away from you, and we'll pull the fingers under and back. Good. This is so good for staving off arthritis, or if you already have arthritis, it's good to keep these joints moving. All right, now we're going to slide the left hand underneath the right. Grab a hold of your thumb and gently pull your thumb toward your forearm or toward your wrist. Nice big stretch across the thumb mound. Good. And release that side. Just take the hands down by the side. Notice the difference. Right and left. And other side. So left arm, hand comes up to stop. And using the right hand, pull the fingers back. Little bend in the left elbow. Nice posture, everybody. Sitting up straight. Looks good. Keep breathing. In and out through the nose. And let's around, palm facing away. Pull the fingers toward you. Back and under. I don't know, does anybody write letters anymore? I was thinking about, using pen and paper, and I think most everybody just does keyboarding now, which is kind of a loss. I always used to like writing letters. Guess we can always bring it back. All right, and now reach your right hand under, take a hold of your thumb in whatever way feels good, and then just pull it toward your wrist. Don't yank it, just find a nice stretch. We don't want to dislocate any joints here. So you should be working your core at the same time, right? Tailbone down, belly in, shoulders down, ribs tucked in and under. Good. And release it down, shake it out. One more, let's interlace and take those wrist circles. Such a good one. So if you're still at the keyboard, if you find yourself there for an extended period of time, these are always good to, stand up, take a little break, and do some of these exercises. All right, shake it out. Good. Let's make our way to standing. All right, so standing, I'm going to stand next to the chair. Feet a little bit wider than hip width. Got your balance there, Jean? Good. So yeah, you can stand behind the chair if that's more comfortable for you. All right. And we're just going to drop the arms down and just swing side to side. So Liz, if you can just twist a little bit side to side, looks good. So moving from the shoulders, let's think about that. So the arms are just extensions of the shoulders here. So we're not winging the arms around, we're moving the shoulders around the axis of the spine. Good. Now let's bring the arms up to goddess, elbows in line with shoulders. Spread the fingers. And let's extend out in a V. And come back. And now extend overhead as you exhale. Inhale back down. Exhale out to a V. Really reach away. Back to goddess. And press up. Getting into the shoulders here. Bring your fingertips to your shoulders. And now twist around. So keep a little bend in the knees. But we're still thinking about moving the shoulders around the spinal column. So we're getting a twist from the tailbone to the crown of the head, and we're also loosening the shoulders. Good. Come to center, and let's take some circles with the elbows. So a lot of times we do these in the chair. I just felt like we could get a little bit more range of motion if we were standing today, and then other direction. Try to bring the elbows to touch. They might not, but it's really getting all the, you can really feel the whole movement of the shoulder blade, moving all those little muscles and tendons. All right, both directions. And now let's bring the forearms parallel, and we're going to press together and open. Keep a little bend in your knees, don't lock out. Press together and open. Press together, open, and one more. Press and open. All right, bring them down. Bring the feet hip width apart, and let's take some these are actually called CARs. I can't remember what it stands for, but the shoulder movement where we start with the back of the hand facing behind us. We're going to flip the palm, and then like we're doing the backstroke, bring the hand like you're scooping water behind and under. So palm starts facing the floor. We reach it up until we can't go any higher, and then we flip the palm and bring it around. So the idea is to try to keep the chest and the hips forward and have that rotation be isolated in the shoulder. If you have to bend your elbow to do it, that's fine. And if it hurts, don't do it at all. Or make the motion as small and as comfortable as possible for you. All right, and then other side. So starting with the palm down, we're going to reach up, back of the hand facing back behind you. Now turn the palm and scoop under. Palm down, hand up. Flip the palm, bring it down, around. Palm down, lift up, turn, bring it down. One more. Palm down, lift up, turn, and bring it down. All right, shake them out. Shoulders, shrugs, big circles. Okay, let's stand next to the chair, warm up the ankles, feet, knees, and hips. And then we're going to work on some warriors today and maybe a little triangle. Okay. Stand on whatever side of the chair works for you. We're going to work both sides. So let's just start by standing and rolling onto the toes and lifting the heels. So we're keeping the toes down and just like you're peeling the heels up off the floor. So we're putting a little pressure on the toes as we come up. Good. And then come to stillness. Let's come up and down, up and down, up and down. One more, up and down. All right, good job. I'm going to start on the right side, picking up the right foot. Take those ankle circles. If it's more comfortable to do these with the knee bent, you can. And other direction. Always trying to be aware of where our feet are, and then flex and point, and keeping our head where our feet are. That's the hard part. And coming to a flexed foot, I'm going to toe in and toe out. Toe in and out. In and out. All right, let's bring that down, move to the other side, give that thigh a little rest. Other side, either extended or bent. Circle the ankle. All right, let's not let the core be lazy here. Stand up nice and tall. Just zip up those abs. I used to say that all the time. I think people got a little tired of it. And other direction. Good. And let's point and flex. And in flex position, toe in, toe out. Okay, bring it down and march it out. Warming up the knee, bringing the knee in line with the hip. We're just going to circle the foot. Around and around, and then other direction. Nice, Liz. And then up and down. That quad is getting really strong, isn't it? Up and down. And other side, bring it down. March it out. Left knee up. Circle the foot one direction. Stir the pot. Try to keep the toes pointing toward the floor. And then other direction. Good. And now forward and back, up and down. Foot can be flexed or pointed, whatever feels better for you. Awesome. And bring it down. So you also can feel we're working into the hips here. Let's take those hip circles standing. So rolling, actually let's do this. Come down, have your hands positioned over your knees so that we're in that position we were in when we were seated, and we'll take our barrel rolls. So just rolling the torso gently around the hips and other direction. Good. And come back to feet hip width apart.
hanging onto the chair, take your opposite leg, bring it up, hug it in, and take some hip circles here. So if you can't hang on to your knee, just do the circles without. Good. Looks good, everybody. Try to get that full range of motion. So make it bigger and bigger. And then other direction. Bigger, bigger. Good. One more round and down. Woo, march it out. Move the chair so you can hang on to the other side. And right knee comes up, and we'll start to circle that around. You can keep your hand on your hip if you do that. Again, keeping your hand in that hip crease, you can feel the motion, feel the hip moving. Beautiful. And other direction. Good. And let's bring it down. Let's face the chair. Arms long, walk it back. And take a downward dog. So arms reach long. Liz, let's put the chair in front of you so you can have something to... Well, it's okay. There you go. So you got something to rest your hands on. Reaching the hips back. And just bend one knee and then the other. So walking your dog here. And now coming to stillness, think about reaching the hip bones, the sits bones back. So get length first. And then think about bringing the thighs, the chest toward the thighs. Try not to lock out the knees. So when we drop the chest, the hip bones, the sits bones should be moving toward the ceiling. So creating a V shape here with our body. That's really what downward dog is. Breathing here. Nice big stretch. And then tucking the tailbone, walk it forward toward the chair. And release your hands, rolling up. Back up to standing, palms face forward. And just find your grounding here in your mountain pose. Palms forward, tailbone tucked, spine long, feet rooted. All right. Good. Grab your block. So we're going to work on a little bit of balance here with using the block. We've done this before. So I've got the block on the tall way so that I'm squeezing it with my ankles and my lower shins. All right, I'm gonna hop back this way. So, spine nice and straight. We've got our chair here for support. Tuck the tailbone, pull the belly in. Think about squeezing that block. When you squeeze the block, the legs move toward center line. The hips engage toward one another. And your shoulders should be relaxed, comfortably down away from your ears. So squeezing the block. Press down into the toes and lift the heels. Even just come up a little bit, whatever feels right for you today, and lower down. So we're going to lift and lower. While you're doing this, let's find a focal point. So little mind-body connection here. Keep moving the heels up and down. Find your focal point. And now see if you can move into balancing. When you come up on your toes, can we lift the fingers off the chair? and down. So kind of a moving meditation where we're thinking about a couple of things. The lower action sort of becomes automatic. So we're moving up and down and balancing. But we're concentrating and focusing on that drishti. Squeezing the block. See how long you can balance. Keep breathing. Bring it down. Good job. All right, release the block. Keep your feet right where they are. And now let's try it without the block, but maintaining that same pressure as if the block were there. All right, starting with the fingers on the chair, just lifting up and down. And then find your drishti and start to move into balance, where the fingers come off the chair for even a few seconds. Good. And then once you feel supported and stable, maybe you can hold that for a few breaths. Excellent. Beautiful job, everyone. Heels down. Take another dog. Walk it back. And really move the ankles this time. So lift the heels way up. Press down into the toes. Get the ankles moving. Reach the sits bones back. Arms long. Lift the hips towards the sky as the chest moves toward the thighs. And tuck tailbone, let's walk it forward. All right, so let's work on Warrior One. I'm going to take a sip of water. I don't think we've done this in a while. So our warrior positions are strong in the lower body with a sense of ease in the upper body. There's 3 warrior positions. Warrior 1 is when our hips are forward. Warrior 2 is when our hips are they're on an angle. They're not directly to the side. And the Warrior 3 is back to hips forward, but we're in a balancing posture. So, let's start with Warrior 1. Feet hip width apart. Take your right foot, step it forward a little bit so that it's close to the right leg of the chair. Shift the weight onto that foot, pick up the left leg and step that foot back. And we want to step it back as if we're standing on railroad tracks. Your back heel should be out. Your back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Good. So bring your legs a little closer together, your feet a little closer together. Yeah. Okay. So with the hips facing forward, we're going to bend that front knee. So what you should feel is you might feel your hips starting to rotate to the left. Bring them back to center. If you can, take one hand off the chair, and you should be stable enough here to take both hands off. Check where your hip bones are. They should be both facing forward with a little bend in the front knee. Your back leg is nice and straight, and you're pressing down into the back edge of the back foot. Yeah, good. So everything below the waist is moving down and in. So think about scissoring. Remember with the block, we were moving the legs toward one another. So think about that same motion, scissoring the legs toward one another, with the hips moving toward one another, with the feet pressing down. So your upper body should be fairly relaxed. Shoulders over your hips. Now bring the arms forward. All right, so see how when we bring that weight from the arms forward, we have a tendency to kind of lean into that. Think about keeping the shoulders over the hips. Takes a little more core strength, right? Good. Maybe you stay here. If you want to up level, inhale, reach the arms overhead. Palms facing one another. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Looks good. Don't forget to breathe. One more. And float the arms back down to the chair. Let's straighten that front leg, keeping the hips facing forward. And now we're going to come into pyramid. Think about bringing your sternum toward the front edge of the chair. So we're leaning forward, always keeping that flat back, going for a stretch in the front leg. Can bend that knee a little bit. We don't want to lock out the knee. And we're just going to fold forward from the hips until we feel that nice stretch. Good. Keep breathing. Now again, check in with the hips because we have a tendency when we fold forward, the right hip tends to come forward and the left hip rolls out. Roll that left hip back under, pull the right hip back, and that will keep the low back level. Nice. Let's bend the knee, front knee, and come back. Arms float up, back to warrior one, maybe overhead. Good. And arms float down. Step the left foot forward to meet the right and come into your mountain pose. Take a couple of big breaths. And let's set up for the other side. So left foot comes to the front, to the left side of the chair, near the left leg. Shift the weight onto the left foot, bring the right foot back, step it back 2.5 feet, something like that, depends on how long your legs are. Back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Right foot is heels and toes in line. All right, if you can safely take your hands off the chair, bring them to your hips and gauge your hips toward the front. You really need to have space between so that if you were standing on a tightrope, it would be very hard, right, to keep the hips forward and to keep your balance. By stepping out to the side a bit, we give ourselves a little bit wider platform for stability. All right, hips facing forward, tailbone slides down toward the floor. Good. That brings the shoulders over the hips. Then we bend into that front knee, keeping the spine straight. Press down into the back edge of the back foot. Active feet. Now again, think about squeezing the legs toward one another. Everything toward the midline. Feel stable. Press down into the feet. From the waist down, you should feel solid, immovable. Upper body sort of floating with ease. Bring the arms forward as you inhale. Beautiful. Balance here. Pull the shoulders back a little bit so we get the shoulders over the hips. And now maybe the arms go overhead. If that's not comfortable, bring them to cactus. Feel your core working here, so tailbone tucking. Shoulders down. Breathe. For 3, 2, 1 more. Exhale, float the arms down, keeping the hips forward, straighten the front leg. And now hinging from the hips, lean the chest forward, coming into pyramid pose with a flat back. So if you feel comfortable, if you can take your hands off the chair, you may want to experiment with taking hands to low back. So by doing this, you can check if your hips are level. Try not to lock out that front knee. Keep a little bend. And fold a little deeper. Nice flat back. Looks good, everybody. Good. Little deeper. And good. If your hands are behind you, bring them back to the chair. Press up as you bend into that front knee back to warrior. Shoulders over hips. Arms float forward. Good. This time, if it's available, sweep your arms back behind you. If you can interlace, wrap your fingers together. If that doesn't work, you can grab wrists. Reach your knuckles down toward the floor so you open the shoulders in the front. Good. Awesome. Looks great. And release the bind. Float the arms back forward. Back forward. Forward again. Arms come down. Step the right foot up to meet the left. And come again into mountain pose. All right, let's make our way back to the chair. I just realized we've run 3 minutes over. My goodness. Completely lost track of time there. I apologize. If you have to go, whether you're online or in the room, take your leave. Otherwise, why don't we take a brief 2-minute meditation and then Shavasana. I always like to finish with a little meditation just to quiet the nervous system, calm ourselves down so that we can slide into Shavasana. And we begin now. 2 minutes. Just resting your mind on your breath. And take your Shavasana, just total relaxation, whatever feels good and comfortable for your body. Here's where we integrate our practice into our cellular being. Our reading for today: through yoga we feel change as it occurs. We become both the change and the witness to it. And invite your breath to deepen, waking up the body in whatever way feels good to you. Toes, fingers, ankles, wrists. Maybe move the head side to side. Reaching the arms overhead, legs out long. Take a big stretch. And come back in. Let's bring hands to heart center. Thank you so much for showing up today. Thank yourself. Let's leave today with a sense of gratitude. Grateful for our bodies, grateful for our health, grateful for this space, grateful for our internet connection, and grateful for this life. Thumbs to third eye center. We bow as we say Namaste. And bow to your fellow yogis. I apologize for keeping you late.